I
Okay.
did want to also make a statement that
Mhm.
ADHD in women, it's not studied well enough, and it's especially not studied as it relates to hormonal changes. I wanted to make sure I said that because I'm an OBGYN. So estrogen, what's been shown is that estrogen can affect ADHD. So if there's a sudden drop of estrogen, the symptoms may be worse. So that's why some people may notice their symptoms get worse around the time of the month. Okay.
Mm.
And then we don't have studies on the menstrual cycle. We don't have studies on pregnancy. We don't have studies on perimenopause or menopause. And those are significant times where the hormone levels are fluctuating. So I wouldn't be surprised if with ADHD, and just anecdotally, because I'm not an ADHD specialist, a lot of people, their ADHD symptoms may worsen during certain times of the month if they have regular periods. And then in pregnancy, because it's a high estrogen state, their ADHD symptoms may get better during that time. So I just wanted to point that out.
Yeah, no, thank you for clarifying that. That's actually a very common question. I'm looking at the response in the chat and like looking through my DMs. This is a question I get like once every 2.5 months or so. So can you repeat that one more time for
Sure.
the people in the back, and then
Sure.
we'll do the water
So
break.
ADHD is likely, again, I'm not a researcher, I'm not an expert, but the estrogen ADHD link, estrogen is a dopamine modulator, and that's the hormone that's typically lacking or low in ADHD. So there are different points in a woman's life where the hormones are going to fluctuate. Number one, when you're having your menstrual cycle, the estrogen level goes up and down during the cycle. So during those times when it's low, you may experience more symptoms. And in pregnancy, because it's a high estrogen level, you might actually feel like I can conquer the world because now you have more estrogen circulating. And then also postpartum, you have this sudden drop of estrogen. So you might have worse ADHD. So a time, meaning not a good time, a time where women may get diagnosed is now I'm trying to do motherhood and I have this life transition and this low estrogen state right now,
Wow.
um, coupled with maybe postpartum depression. So the estrogen state really affects different phases of life. So also perimenopause and menopause. So that may be an additional point where women are diagnosed like, okay, everything worked out. I got through motherhood. Now I'm going through another phase of life. And oh no, I'm 50 something years old and I don't remember, like, I can't focus at all. Nothing works anymore.
Wow. It's such a game changer. It just blows your mind
Mm-hmm.
because you like noticing to yourself all these things. And you're like, how come nobody told me this? Or how, like, why is nobody talking about this? Which makes you feel even crazier, for lack of a better term.
Mm-hmm. And it might make, let's say you're a first time mom, you don't know you have ADHD, or you do have ADHD, and you're like, well, before I had the baby, I was coping just fine. And then there's this added pressure, and women have more roles and they have to take care of, in addition to working outside the home if they choose to do so. And just all these other pressures that are placed on them that can throw off this routine that we're just trying to avoid, but we need.
Yeah. Well, fortunately and unfortunately, but we need it. We
We
definitely
need
need
it.
it.
We
All right. And
need it.
let's do the water break and then let's